Hi, it's Sandy with s.ranellearts. Today's video will have a few parts to it. I am going to be opening and working with some of my larger watercolor paper. So this is the package that was under the Christmas tree, and it's a huge box, and I'm sure I'm not getting all of it on camera. I have the camera set in its little holder, so I'm just gonna work around that. So I'll flip it over. And to be fair, this was under the Christmas tree because I helped my husband pick out what I wanted. But inside I keep, it's a great big flat box, and inside I keep my larger watercolor paper. So between the two, there is, this is some I've been just adding to my collection. And then in here, I have a couple. I'll probably edit this. So let me see if I can get it out, and I'll edit the part where I'm struggling and making the noises for the camera. Here we go. We ordered some of the Arches cold pressed 300 GM squared 140 pounds. So 140 pound, I ordered the natural white. This is a set of 5, and there's another one in there that has 5. So that was my Christmas present. And before that, I had been slowly adding to my collection of watercolor papers. So these two are not the Arches. I'm going to skip those for now and go to my Arches pack that I had bought prior to this. I bought a 10-pack, and the last ones I found were 2 5-packs. So this is a 22 by 30 sheet, and I'm going to work it out so that I can get the camera to film me making smaller sheets of this, and I'm going to try to preserve as much of a decal edge as I can. So on that note, let me get started. A little something on that paper. I want it off. And of course, no project of mine would be complete without at least 1 or 2 cat hairs. But I don't want to smear that. All right. So buying paper that 22 by 30 can save you quite a bit of money, but you have to work with it. I mean, if you were doing a big painting, that's different. But for me, I have made sketchbooks out of it so that I could have the Arches paper. And in this case, I'm doing some more swatches. I have some swatches on my channel, and I'm doing some more of those. So I need some more swatch paper of the right size. So now you could use, this is one of those rotary mats. And so you could use a rotary mat, and I have a metal ruler, but you don't need all that, really. If you buy these large sheets, I literally just fold it in half. I take one end to the other end, and since it is the 140 pound, it's fairly sturdy. Then I come over here. You can use the ruler to do this. Again, I could be doing this on a mat. I'm literally just doing it on my island, which is where I do most of my work lately, since my downstairs studio that was my son's bedroom is, let's just say my daughter uses it for her work and studying. All right, so I've turned it over, and I go along the crease. Give it a nice long push like that. Bring my fingers along the crease, turn it over, match the ends again, go back on the same crease. I don't even really have fingernails, as you can see, but I take my nail and go along here. Now, again, a metal ruler is great for this. You could use a bone folder if you have one. I have one. Don't know where it is. I suppose for right now I could put my microphone on so that you hear me more than you hear the paper. And now I'm just going to go back and forth on the fold. So the object is to get as much out of this as you can. And you want to do this a few times, so I'll speed through this. I'm knocking the camera around, not trying to. But once I feel like I have folded it enough, and that could have been a few folds ago, but I better safe than sorry, especially towards the middle. I start on one side, and I tear, and then I go to the other side, and I tear, and then I just work my way up. And you have to be a little careful towards the middle. Sometimes it's not quite ready to tear. So just another fold or two, and take your time if you want perfect edges. Now, some people tape off their watercolor paper, and so they don't care necessarily, but I never know what I'm going to do. So I want it to be like that. And now I will go ahead and do it again. Okay, I'm stopping at this point just for a minute to talk about what I've got here. So this is a 12 by 16 inch Arches block. So I'm going to try to turn that, so there we go. So I get it to go with the camera. I can see what I'm doing if I stand on my tiptoes. All right, and then this is a 9 by 12 block. And these are, they come like this. Oh, that has something in it. That's a cabbage I'm working on. But I didn't even realize. That's typical. I start and put them together. Okay, so this size, these are the standard size. Some of the sizes that the blocks come in, they have square and etc. For my purposes, I started doing the math. And I should mention, I'm going to do a Meet the Artist video, but I should mention that I'm an math teacher. So math and numbers are important to me. But I started doing the math to see how many sheets I could get out of 122 by 30 inch sheet. And there's the Arches mark, which I just love seeing. But I'm doing these little swatches for my paints, and I have videos of these. This one is my Daniel Smith, and there's my Schminky, and I'm going to do the Schminky Baby Owl add-on set that I have, and these are my Primas. And anyway, the size of these, so the smaller ones are half the size of the larger ones. So I had to decide how do I want to work that, and for the larger, more artist quality paints, I wanted the larger size. So I'm at the point now, if I did this right, where I can get, I should be able to get 2 out of this. Right, okay, it helps if I have them lined up. So I can get 2 out of each of these. So how much do I have? So that's 2, 4, and another 4 over here. So I can get 8 of these larger swatches, or twice that, 16 of the smaller ones. And then for the size, let me grab my ruler. So this Schminky one is 11 by 7.5, right? And I, again, could do the math, but I'm in artist mode, not math mode. So this one is 7.5 by 5.5. And so these would make good 5 by 7s. That's what it was. So if you want the smaller ones, you can get 16 5.5 by 7.5 pieces out of it, and that will give you well, let's say, all right, so we can do 16. So now we're doing the math. We can do 16 5 by 7 pieces. It's a little larger, but if you frame it out, you'll get your 5 by 7s, right? So 16 of those. 1 sheet of 9 by 12. Okay, a pad like this probably costs $30 for 20 sheets. One of these, I'm not doing the greatest comparison. Maybe I'll include that in the description. But one of these sheets, if I can get 16, all right, let's say I can get 8 of these out. Let's do it like that. All right, so 20 of these for about $30. That's at the art store with my coupon if I'm going to the craft store. I can get 8 of these for, well, you can get a piece for $6 or $7. So now we're talking about slightly over $1 a sheet. If you do the 5x7s, then that makes it about maybe 60 cents a sheet for these smaller ones. Okay, so it's definitely a less expensive way to go if you want to make your own paper. It takes a few minutes. I mean, it doesn't take very long at all really to do this. And you get the nice decal edge. Now you don't have the block. You definitely pay more for a block than you pay for a pad. But, and so you don't have the block, and the benefits of the block, and I'll do some videos on this, but the benefits of the block is that it's all glued together, and so you do your painting, and you don't have to tape it down. It doesn't warp. It dries nice and flat. That's great. So on these, if you want to do a big background, you're going to need to tape it down because it'll warp. However, you can always flatten it back out again if you don't want to tape it down. That works as well. It works too. All right, I'm going to finish this up, and then I'll be back. All right, there you have it. That is, those are 8 from one sheet of paper, and I'm not sure how many smaller ones I want, so I will do that another time. But you can see from my swatch card, it fits on there perfectly. Again, we're talking at less than $1 a sheet, which is not the same if I were to get it in the block. You can also start small and go to a place like Michael's. Michael's may not have Arches, but they definitely have watercolor paper, and you can start with that, and it's a more economical way to go, and then eventually buy them by the pack. I believe we got the 2 5-packs from either Blick's Art Supply or possibly Jerry's Artorama. Not exactly sure. I don't really remember where I got all that. But anyway, that's making your own watercolor paper from a large sheet, and I'm going to get my next few swatches drawn up. I was in need of some supplies. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks.